awkward. So let's see. So there's still some more faces that have to be rebuilt in this. And I need to move this somewhere where I can work on it. And rotate it in Y. Rotate Y by 90, and then come in here. And I gotta edit this and fix it up a bit. Oh lordy, it doesn't look that good at all, does it? It's all skewed. But we're in a perspective view, so how would we know? We have to go to either this or what side is facing, whatever this is. What is that? Is that a 3? Is that a shift 3? Is that a control 3? Is it a, yeah, it's a control 3. Left orthographic, right? Yeah, control 3. All right, so I guess what we need to do is to make a line here, and between here and here, make a line, and then we can take this and we can tell it that it needs a face. Then we can take this and this, make a line between that, and take this and this, and make a line between that, and then select these and tell it to make a face. And if we've done it properly, then we have faces all around, and that will so when we look at the solid, yeah, okay, success. And let me then re-rotate that back to where it was. Whoops. No, what was it? Rotate. Where's my thing? Okay, it's got to be flipped over. But well, this was the part there. So, let me move this over here, and let me move it out here, and let me rotate it in Y by 90, and then let me move this back where it was. And Maybe move down a bit in Z. So I'm going to make this parent. So now I hit. Okay. Isn't that interesting? Gonna make it sit a little better. Sometimes. So I parent this, shift it later, hit Control P, and parent it. That means that when I move the big thing, it all moves. And when I want to, I can cut this side off, and it will be off of there. I just have to turn everything around now. So now, having parented this to this, so I can move this, I rotate this in, well, first, this gets moved up. So we cut the top off of this, so that's gone. These bars have to be, of course, cut away, so they're going to be parented to the top frame. So we can show that animation. So actually, the way it should go is that these, that's a single object. This actually should be made into a single object because we're not going to cut these bars at all. What we're going to be cutting as we make this is these bars here, but we're going to be bowing this but not cutting it. So I can join, oops, didn't work. I can join these, not those. I can join these. Missed it. Join these. Nope. Gotta be very careful how you join. Join this, join this, join this, and join this. That becomes joined as an object, and these will get parented to this object so that I can move these away when I want to. Same thing with these. Actually, this whole thing gets saved, so why don't I make all of this into an object as with, and these don't get moved at all either, although they don't look like they're in the right position right now. So I want to move that over. I want to leave some flexibility there, so I will join these. And I will join these. Be joined, and I will join these and the bottom ones as well, but each is a separate rung. And then I will join these. And then all of these get joined together because the bars that I'm going to remove are these ones in the animation, and they get parented. So let's take all of these and parent them. In fact, we'll take all of them. Parent them to, oops, I didn't, to there. Let's see what happens then. Can I? Now, if I move this, they all go together. but can I move individual bars still? Yes. 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 Okay. These are ultimately supposed to be joined together, but this one here just keeps looking like it's in the wrong position in the y-axis. It would be good if I can hide this then too, because it seems to be getting in my way. Let's see. This one here needs to move in the y-axis. About there. This one here. This one. Oops. This one. Yeah, they line up pretty good. This one and this one. Yeah, not too bad. Alright, so these four, these are not going to get removed, so we should join them to this and let's see. We can join them together. Oh, did we lose something here? We did. We lost something. What did we lose? Why did we lose it? So we lost something here. I don't know. Let's do Alt H. Brings everything back, and there's the one that was hidden. So it's there. It just was selected, unfortunately, but that can move. But it all is joined. It's all parented. These are not yet parented, so these have to be the children of this. And these, which are an object, need to be the parent of that. That means that when we move the cage, everybody goes except that. I thought those were parented already. I thought those were parented to this. But they weren't. Okay, so you need to be parented to this too. And now, when you pick the cage, everybody moves in the cage, but we can still remove individual bars. That's good, because that's what we're going to do. All right. You can move, you can be cut out, you can be cut out. All right, so that's good. And now, when this thing is rotated in the y-axis by 90 degrees, with the lid hanging out over there, and we lop this off and move it, then when this is brought down in, we can still move this further away, then we see how the floating gas holder works, so that it rises up. We can move it over a little bit though. Yeah, so that it rises up and goes down. Once we've removed those cage bars. Alright, and then when we look at it in material preview, we see it go in and come up, go in and come up. Alright, then the last thing to do there is we we are going to select this. We want to show that we need to cut a hole in here. So with this one, I'm also going to edit it and punch a hole. So I've got to go back to edit here. I got to select this. And I want that same kind of mesh there, that subdivision mesh. So I'm going to have to I'm not sure how this thing does a mesh when you have all these extra points. That's the hard thing, because if I subdivide, and I'm subdividing, again, I'm not getting actual points in there. It's weird. I wonder what would happen if, because that's the line there, if I did go ahead and select all these as if it was a line. It's the weird thing about meshes. Meshes are mathematical concepts, and when you subdivide it, if the points are missing, what exactly happens? Well, now I've got the whole surface selected, so when I subdivide that, it still hasn't created any lines. It's just subdivided all those points there too, and that's not good. That's not healthy. So how do you do a subdivision when you have all that? And one thing I could do, I suppose, is if I were to divide it in half like this and make a line like that, and then go like this, and then I could subdivide over there, but I'm trying to put my mesh in the center, so for the sake of cutting, maybe I do need to increase the radius of this. Maybe I could take this and take this point. What happens if I subdivide that? Absolutely nothing. I did put a point there though. I can take that point and make a edge from there. And then I could take this point and make an edge there. And now maybe I have something to subdivide, I'm not sure. If I do that and I say, and I guess at that point there has to be there, then subdivide, now it's just giving me points. Is that really what I want? I've got all these points to do. It's just doing points. I'd have to then say something like that. Now if I subdivide that, it's not doing anything. So I really wonder what the Boolean will do. I've subdivided like crazy here. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. If I tab out of this and if I take this to make my Boolean, so I would be taking not that, but this. It's that I want to duplicate and to bring over here. And that's going to go somewhere in here, and I usually move it up here somewhere. But it up there. Because that's going to be the Boolean. I could fake it, I suppose, and not put a hole at all, but that wouldn't make much of a tutorial. So I do want to put a hole in here. I want to carve that hole like from there. So if I were to take this and then go to Boolean and then say to it, the object I want to Booleanize it with is this and this. Nope, didn't do it. Take this and say I want to Booleanize it with that. Okay, what is that going to do? If I apply it and then move this over, did it make a hole? And the answer is no, it did not make a hole. It kind of made a hole, and kind of didn't. Actually, that's part of this thing. That isn't a hole. So what did it do? It did a whole lot of nothing. If I take that and I say I want to Booleanize it, well, let me not use something as complex as this object for a Boolean. That's one of the problems. What I really should do is create a cylinder or find a cylinder like this little cylinder here that is about the same size. To make my hole. This cylinder needs to be scaled up, and that would probably work as a cylinder for it. But if I take this cylinder and move it up here and move it there, move it up there, it's kind of penetrating the way it ought to. Select this, pick that cylinder, and apply it. It takes some of those vertices and it makes its own cut around it. That's what it does. So, but wow, it didn't even let me do it. It's like crazed because there's nothing to cut. That's the problem. So when I move it away, it says apply. So I apply, it says modifiers can't be applied to multi-user data. Oh boy, okay. I mean, I was really hoping that this would do it, but this is multi-user data, whatever that means. Here, it won't do a Boolean. And when I go to edit this, I mean, it could be that we have to add lines the whole way through. So I have really no idea what I'm doing in terms of how a mesh is constructed. But I would try. It still won't let me do it. Maybe if I move it up a little bit, or nope, doesn't like it. Boolean modifiers can't be applied to multi-user data. Well, can't get a hole in there. Yeah, I don't know. Trying to do all these undos. That's about as far as I can go in terms of undos. Try this now. Still won't let me do it. I don't know if it's because that piece is there. It's 9:43. All right, I figured out what was wrong. It's this was somehow linked to this cube, and that's why it said multi-user data. So when I was in edit mode and I went to try to work on this, both of these came up, and I thought, well, that's odd because I'm only selecting one object, but their data was linked. So when I went into object, I just got rid of this, and then when I want to do my Boolean, it just worked out. I went to Boolean and told it that I wanted to use this cylinder to cut it, and lo and behold, the cylinder, well, oops, I didn't apply it, did I? Add modifier. Or did it work? Maybe it didn't work. I thought it worked. Apply. And now, yeah, it works. All right, so now there's a hole in that bucket, dear Liza. And that's what I wanted to see. So now this whole object here, remember this should all be Control-J'd together. And then there's the ring, which should be parented to, just have to tell it which object, should be parented to that whole thing. Oopsie. So that when I move the whole object, everything goes over there. And then I move it over to here. And move it up. And that way I can, easily screw this thing up and down. But there's still a hole in there. Beautiful. So we're finally getting somewhere here. I don't know what that is. Oh, I see. That's because the whole thing is, that's the side that we lopped off, that we want to lop off. That's been parented to it. Okay. So we're getting closer with that. And I need this whole piece as well duplicated. All this, maybe the easiest way to grab it is to so Shift D and duplicate that. And the only thing is it doesn't need to be so tall when you're on this. This doesn't need to be tall at all. So we should really edit this object here and grab the bottom of it in Z, in wireframe, and then GZ it up to make it as short as possible, because there is no slurry that's going to contaminate that. And then we should be able to take this and bring it all down like that. It's got to also move over here. And the whole thing needs to be rotated. Although it should be 7, but this thing's in the way. So let's move that out of the way and select this whole thing. This hasn't been parented yet, so this has got to be Control P parented to there, and that should be parented to this piece. So we take this and parent it to, oops, this and parent it, oh, I can't get in there. All the pieces should be parented together so that when you move the one, you get all the others. So then this piece here gets parented, oops, didn't do right, gets parented to there. And then we take this piece here and parent it to this one. And then take this piece here and parent it to this one. And take this piece here and parent it to this one. And take this piece here and parent it to this one. Oops, didn't take. This piece here gets parented to this one. And then when I can move independently these pieces out, but when I move this, everybody moves. And then I should be able to just rotate this in Z the way I want to, and they all follow each other, even though when I go to build the animation, I can still remove stuff. That's the value of parenting, and since this is parented, oh, it didn't work. I thought I took this and I parented to that. So let's make sure that that's happening. Let's see, so now when I move this, hey, I thought you were all parented. Parent to the object. Let's see, this moves everything. This is supposed to move all that. This is supposed to move all that. And this is supposed to move all that. Now it does. All right. Set that in. And we have this.